From Volkswagen selling almost 11 million cars with their crafty defeat devices, to Nissan chairman Carlos Ghosn underreporting company income for years, here are the biggest car company cheaters exposed. Volkswagen pulled off the diesel dupe of the century back in 2015, but the Environmental Protection Agency had other plans for them. They found out that many Volkswagen cars being sold in America were pulling off a sneaky trick with their diesel engines. These cars had a special defeat device. These could actually detect when they were being tested for emissions, and then adjust their performance to produce better results. Volkswagen had gone all out with its marketing campaign, bragging about how its cars had low emissions and were environmentally friendly. But it turns out that was all a big fat lie. The EPA's investigation revealed that a whopping 482,000 cars in the US alone were equipped with this defeat device. And it's not just the regular Volkswagen models. I'm talking about the Audi A3, Jetta, Beetle, Golf, and Passat too. That's like their entire lineup. But it gets even crazier. Volkswagen eventually admitted that this wasn't just an American problem. Oh no, this scam was much bigger. They confessed that approximately 11 million cars worldwide were fitted with this deceitful device, turning this into a global scandal. Of course, this whole debacle didn't come without consequences. Volkswagen had to recall millions of cars worldwide, and they had to set aside a massive fund of £4.8 billion to cover the costs. The EPA had the power to slap Volkswagen with fines of up to $37,500 for each vehicle that violated the emission standards. If you do the math, that's approximately $18 billion. Volkswagen is also looking at potential legal action from angry car owners and shareholders. The company can't even begin to estimate the mind-boggling cost of these possible lawsuits, and they're hardly the only ones. Another car manufacturer involved in fraud was Subaru and their emissions data debacle. During an internal investigation in 2018, it was discovered that some measurements and data had been inappropriately altered for about 900 cars at their Japanese factories. Subaru suspected that this manipulation game started way back in 2002, but they can't prove it because their data only went as far as 2012. Now here's the interesting part. While some lower-level managers probably had an inkling of what was going on, the culprits behind these changes turned out to be the factory inspectors. When Subaru reviewed the original data, they found that all the cars involved met their internal emissions and fuel economy standards. So it's not like they were selling faulty vehicles. It's more like they were trying to make things look better than they actually were. Now here's the silver lining. Since the issue wasn't with the cars themselves, Subaru didn't need to do a massive recall like other automakers' emission scandals. Phew, dodged that bullet. But they said they're determined to take action and prevent any similar problems in the future. At least they owned up to their mistake, unlike Toyota, which ended up having to pay $1.2 billion for hiding unintended acceleration. Yep, you heard that right. According to court documents, Toyota was accused of hiding severe safety problems related to unintended acceleration. The FBI even claimed that Toyota continued making cars with parts it knew were dangerous. To settle the matter, Toyota entered into an agreement in 2014, according to which they had to come clean and admit that they had misled consumers in the US. The FBI wasn't holding back either. Assistant Director George Venizelos accused Toyota of prioritizing sales over safety and putting people's lives in danger. ABC News blew the lid off the potential dangers of unintended acceleration back in 2009. In their investigation, they found that Toyota customers had actually died because of these issues. One tragic incident involved highway patrolman Mark Saylor and his family. Their Lexus experienced a horrifying moment as the accelerator got stuck, leading to a fatal crash. Saylor managed to make a desperate call to 911 while going at over 100 miles per hour, sharing his experience before the devastating end. The entire call was recorded and presented as evidence, and was a heart-wrenching event that brought attention to the issue. Now here's where things get even more scandalous. When ABC News first aired its investigation, Toyota tried to downplay the problem. They claimed that incidents of sudden acceleration were caused by floor mats getting stuck, but other customers started complaining about similar acceleration issues that had nothing to do with floor mats. Now here comes the twist. Instead of the Toyota executives ending up behind bars, the company agreed to pay a whopping $1.2 billion as part of a fine, making it the biggest penalty given to any car manufacturer at that time. But this still isn't even close to being the most complex scandal case on this list. Takata and their airbags have to take the cake. The company made a whopping 67 airbags, and guess what? They were installed in vehicles from 19 different automakers, including a staggering 34 brands from 2002 to 2015. But here's the kicker. These airbags, instead of keeping people safe, can actually deploy explosively, posing a serious threat to drivers and passengers. In fact, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration recorded some truly tragic incidents where these airbags caused injuries and even fatalities. The heart of the problem lies in the airbag's inflator. It's a metal cartridge loaded with propellant wafers, and in some cases, it ignites with explosive force. And when that happens, the inflator housing can rupture during a crash, sending dangerous metal shards flying all over the cabin. That's definitely not what you expect from a safety advice. Now let's talk about some specific models that are at extreme risk. 2001 to 2003 Honda and Acura models had these so-called Alpha airbags, as well as the 2006 Ford Ranger and Mazda B-Series pickup trucks, and the 1999 BMW 323i and 328i. So safety first, folks, and do not drive these vehicles. In the US alone, there have been 24 deaths and over 400 injuries linked to these faulty Takata airbags. It's absolutely horrifying to imagine metal shards piercing a driver's face and neck. Even though these accidents are rare, they can still happen. Back in June 2015, Takata itself acknowledged a total of 88 explosions, 67 on the driver's side and 21 on the passenger side out of over 1.2 million airbag deployments over 15 years. That's a lot of potential danger lurking on the roads. But the German car and truck maker Daimler AG presented a different kind of danger to society. The company was charged with violating US bribery laws after they allegedly went all out by showering foreign officials with millions of dollars and luxury cars to secure those sweet business deals. But the company settled the charges with the US Justice Department for $185 million. And get this, Daimler's German and Russian units are even planning to plead guilty to the criminal charges. It's like a high-stakes legal drama unfolding right before our eyes. U.S. prosecutors accused Daimler, the maker of Mercedes cars, of having a long-standing practice of greasing palms with bribes. They claimed these sneaky dealings happened in countries like Russia, China, Turkey, Egypt, Nigeria, Iraq, and a whole bunch of others, all between 1998 and early 2008. That's quite the global bribery tour they went on. The U.S. Justice Department charged Daimler with conspiracy and falsifying books and records under the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. The SEC probe into Daimler's shady practices kicked off in 2004, after an auditor complained about some fishy business with secret bank accounts that were being used to pay off foreign officials. But Daimler didn't plead guilty as part of the settlement. Instead, they paid a cool $93.6 million to settle the Justice Department probe, and another $91.4 million for the SEC case. Just like a really expensive get-out-of-jail card. The charges filed revealed a bunch of shady transactions. I'm talking hundreds of payments worth tens of millions of dollars to foreign officials in exchange for contracts worth hundreds of millions of dollars. That's some serious wheeling and dealing. Another time some spicy courtroom drama unfolded was with Nissan and Carlos Ghosn. The company reported some serious misconduct led by their ex-chairman, Carlos Ghosn, and his buddy Greg Kelly back in September 2019. Things took a wild turn when an internal investigation conducted by Nissan and external lawyers uncovered a sneaky scheme. It turned out that Ghosn and Kelly were embezzling huge amounts from Nissan. The Japanese financial services weren't too thrilled with their shenanigans, and they slapped the company with a fine on February 27, 2020. Nissan received a guilty judgment in 2022, and the Tokyo District Court ordered the company to pay a cool 200 million yen. That's around $1.7 million for some of you folks. After considering the judgment, Nissan decided to take the high road and not appeal. They're determined to learn from their mistakes and make some serious changes to their governance and corporate culture. Carlos Ghosn, on the other hand, has gone rogue. After all the drama, he managed to flee the country and is believed to be chilling in Lebanon. So from Nissan chairman Carlos Ghosn underreporting company income for years, to Volkswagen selling almost 11 million cars with their crafty defeat devices, here were the biggest car company cheaters exposed.